Try this at home. Instant pot ribs. Can you tell they were good? Hello, is it working? Yo, what's up? You might notice. First video back, really new camera. Thank you to Chris. I have other videos filmed that haven't been posted yet with this camera. Let's just say I don't know what the hell I'm doing with this thing yet. And I'm about to prove it again. Sorry if I got shit on my face. I just ate because I had a big workout, you know, look at that, look at this guy. Okay, we gotta eat now. Had a workout, gotta eat quick. I got one for you. We're doing instant pot ribs. Let's get it going. Okay, so what do you need to make instant pot ribs? Well, obviously, you're gonna need an instant pot. In my case, I got some baby back ribs. Just picked them up at Walmart. Really good deal on them, 20 bucks for two. That'll feed enough people that I'm cooking for. You're gonna need your favorite barbecue rub. You can make your own, but just to make this super easy, I've got some Stubbs here. Stubbs is great on ribs. Chicken broth, and if you really wanna get fancy, you could toss some liquid smoke in there. I'm gonna show you how to do that. We're also gonna be making a really easy coleslaw with the pre-made mix. Hey, if you wanna go quick, this is the way you gotta do it. So an important part of dealing with ribs is taking the membrane off, and it's pretty simple to do. What you're gonna wanna do is take your butter knife or any sort of knife and try and get under this kind of shiny film that's on your ribs. And it's okay if you hit it a little bit too hard or if you get under it a little bit too much, because you're gonna wanna get under it and grab it with a paper towel, and then you're just gonna wanna pull. And you see that? See how it just peels off like that? You might have to do it in 2 shots. Of course, since my camera's fucking rolling, it doesn't go in 1 shot, but get that piece off. And the only reason you really need the paper towel is just because it makes it a little easier to grip on. See how I got a nice grip on it? And it's as easy as that. Your membrane's off. What's gonna happen now is your seasoning, your rub, and smoke, especially if you're doing it on a smoker, is gonna penetrate on the bottom side as well as this top side. Okay, so next big step, you're gonna wanna take your favorite rub, and like I said, you can feel free to make your own. I've got some Stubbs BBQ Rub here. It's a great rub. And you're going to very generously apply it to both sides of the ribs. And despite the name, you're not going to want to rub the rub into the ribs. You're just going to kind of press it in. And you know what? For Instant Pot guys, I think that's probably good enough. I don't have to get too perfect with it. Okay, so now that your ribs are nice and covered, it's time for the fun part. Alright, so with your Instant Pot ready to go, you're going to want to make sure your trivet rack's in there. This is going to come with most Instant Pots. I don't know if you necessarily need this, but it's good to have. I'm just going to toss in a little bit of chicken broth because this thing doesn't like working without a liquid in there. That might even be too much, but who cares? Looks good to me. Okay, now take your ribs and just put them in. And if I can do this with one hand, don't worry about it. You can do it too. Just put it in, meat side out. All right. So I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of that because that was a fucking awful attempt at showing you guys how to put them in there. But yeah, just get them in there and make sure they fit. It's time. Just a couple drops of liquid smoke, and this is just to give it that kind of smoky consistency. Fuck. Should be alright. Okay, now here's the big scary part. Put your lid on your Instant Pot. Hear the sound? That means it's basically locked. You're gonna wanna look here. It says venting, sealing, venting. Don't start it if it's not in sealing. Okay, this is the only thing you could fuck up. And I'll show you maybe the only other thing later, but this thing's impossible to fuck up. Make sure the lid's tight and secure. Make sure it's on sealing, as indicated by this little gray marker here. Okay, now you're gonna wanna hit on this mode, manual. And for these types of ribs, I'm gonna say 20, it's 27, should be fine. Usually I do 25 for baby backs, but this is okay. Yeah, and now you wait. Another tip about Instant Pot. When it says on, it doesn't mean it's now 28 minutes until you're eating. This is a mistake everyone makes with Instant Pots. Everyone's saying you can make ribs in 15 minutes, make beef roast in 30 minutes. No, it takes about 15 minutes for the Instant Pot to gain pressure and pressurize, and then it needs to cook, and then you generally want to naturally release most of the pressure. So you'll notice that after maybe 10 to 15 minutes, this will fill, the timer will start because it'll be full pressure, and then once the timer reaches 0, it'll start counting back up, and as it's counting up, usually most recipes call for like a natural release of like 15 to 25 minutes, but it really depends on what's in the Instant Pot. In my case, I'm probably going to natural release for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, quick recipe for the coleslaw. I'm going to use probably about half a bag of this, just enough to feed, people. Basic coleslaw dressing is super simple. You're going to want to use, I like to use like maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of mayo. It really depends on how creamy you want it, but I just usually play it by eye. So that'd be about 1, that'd be about 2. Let's do 2.5 for this one. I think that's pretty darn close to accurate. And you can just start it, get a good mix going. It's easier to lift the bowl up and mix it up, but it doesn't take too much just to mix it around. Okay, and then once you got a pretty good mix going on your coleslaw, just add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And this is all to taste, really. It really is all to taste. And I can kind of eyeball it, a half a second pour. About a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar is generally the sweet spot for this size of a serving of coleslaw. So we're gonna take a taste. That's right in the sweet spot. What I'm gonna add now is about 2 teaspoons of sugar. And we'll go from there. We might need more, we might need less. And I'm not using a measuring spoon. I'm just using a regular tablespoon. This is not tablespoon, I mean like kind of like a dining spoon. A teaspoon that you find in your drawer. So we're gonna just finish it off with a little bit of kosher salt. And I mean a little bit, not too much. And cracked black pepper. And this one, you're going to want to do it for a while. And there we have it. Just a basic creamy coleslaw. Okay, now for the real scary part. Once you have natural released, for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you're going to go here, and you're going to hit the vent button. This basically just means move that dial over. It's not as scary as it looks. You can use a towel, you could use an object to move it. Just use your finger. This is gonna take about 60 seconds. Okay, so when you see that little knobby thing, you just twist it to the right and pull it off. I guess I wasn't recording when I did it, but whatever. You can see, look at the pull back on those bones. All right, before I get this lens all fogged up, let's get it on the cutting board. So here's the thing about Instant Pot ribs. At this moment, to me, they don't look super appetizing, especially if you've had barbecue ribs before. Usually right on the grill, they develop a nice bark. The kind of rub sets in a little better, right? Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sauce them, and then we're gonna put them under the broiler, and then we're gonna see how they look. But believe me, the taste is the main attraction, because they do taste delicious. We're gonna take your favorite barbecue sauce, and it should be Sweet Baby Ray's if you're not insane. And we are going to very generously apply some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And I said generous. Alright, I've got a pretty scuffed rib weave going here. But listen, man, we're gonna send it. We're gonna put them in. These things are gonna broil, and we are gonna eat. These ribs are ready to go. I'm gonna cut mine up. I'm gonna serve them out onto a plate, and I am about to feast. these guys are gonna fall apart, which is totally okay. And that is kind of the way the Instant Pot rib cookie crumbles. You are gonna deal with some fall off the bone action. That's okay. You know what, I'm gonna leave that little three-piece. I'm gonna leave that little three-piece for myself there. Alright guys, so now it is time to eat. And you know what, I hate to do this in front of you, but I'm about to. Let's check it out. It's time to dig in. I'm gonna take this one right here. Let's take a few bites. Gotta get my little napkin. This is the deal. Instant Pot ribs, they're gonna fall right off the bone. So if you're not a big fan of the fall off the bone, this might not be the best one for you. But here's the deal. If you don't want to commit to, let's say, 6 hours of cooking really solid ribs, this might be one of the better ways to do it. Here's a really good trick. Take your rib meat off, piece of white bread. Like a little rib sandwich almost. If you leave your Instant Pot ribs in a little bit longer, they will have a little bit of give to them, but these ones, the bones are pretty loose. All right, you know we gotta take a bite of that coleslaw. Let's get a hit of it. Nice tangy, a little sweet, just enough salt and pepper. Really, really good. Don't you worry, I will be coming very, very soon with some smoked ribs. The smoked rib recipe that I do. Everyone loved it last time I made it for them at the barbecue. So we're gonna try it. And right now, this is gonna get a little messy. Check that out. Coleslaw rib bread. All I can say, guys, try this at home. Instant Pot ribs. Goes without saying. This is one of the ones you need to try at home.